If we are to believe the rumor mill, apparently Vince McMahon walked into the SmackDown arena last night and he looked at the script and he went, "This is a pile of baloney. Let's rewrite the entire thing." And if that is true, that is pretty damn crazy. But did it work? Or did it fail? The only way to find out is to go through last night's episode of SmackDown and give the good bits an up and give the bad bits a down. And thankfully you've tuned in to Ups and Downs with me, Simon Miller, here on WhatCulture Wrestling, where the finger of power can do just that. Look at it, steal my gaze. Let's up those downs. Start of SmackDown was fine. Unassuming, I would say. Give it up. It was just Charlotte Flair and Trish Stratus yelling at each other because Charlotte feels like Trish walked away too soon just as the women's evolution was about to explode, whereas Trish thinks, well, if I didn't do what I had done, Charlotte, you wouldn't be standing here today. So they were at an impasse. There was also this really funny bit where Charlotte pointed to the screen because she wanted to show off a video highlights package from her career, but instead we did get that video, but it was focused on Trish Stratus. And straight away my brain was going, well, what happened here in terms of the world of kayfabe? Was Trish Stratus stood behind the production guy going, no, don't play hers, play mine, play mine, play mine. And they were just like, geez, Trish, all right. Doesn't make any sense. It ended with Trish slapping Charlotte because she had been a giant asshole. And while I do think this adds a lot to that SummerSlam card, the real issue is that both here and on Raw, the crowd just doesn't seem to care, and I don't know why. But look, it ticked the boxes, it did what it had to do. They'll probably have a very fun bout in a few days' time. But boy howdy, what happened next will probably have delighted as many people as it did annoy. But in my world, it gets it out. I mean, at least it made sense, because the idea here was to give Dolph Ziggler as much momentum as we possibly could, so that when he does go into his match at SummerSlam to take on Goldberg, you may have a tiny bit of doubt in your head that, oh, maybe Billy Boy is going to lose, because not only did he make his entrance here on SmackDown to Goldberg's theme, and he had the security guards and he was blowing, puffing, going crazy everywhere, and the crowd were annoyed because they heard the music and thought, oh, we're getting Goldberg, and they got Dolph Ziggler instead. His pre-planned match with Rey Mysterio, who is also a legend, of course, you see where this is going, never happened because Dolph whipped his ass so bad he wasn't able to compete. Then when Ali ran out to try and defend Rey's honor, he too did lose in a proper match because Dolph Ziggler just super kicked him right in the face. Now, yes, I get why some people would be annoyed, because we took a legend like Rey Mysterio and we threw him in the trash, and we also took an up-and-comer like Ali and we threw him in the trash as well. If you've been a long-time Dolph Ziggler fan, you're now going, well, why couldn't he have always been treated this way? He likely would have been a bigger star. You ain't wrong. Here's the thing though, within the space of around about 15 minutes, WWE did make DZ feel like a bigger deal than he has done in ages, so now when Goldberg squashes him, at least there's more gravitas to all of that. And I know you don't want Goldberg to come in and absolutely destroy Dolph Ziggler, but let's call a spade a spade. Even if Dolph Ziggler did win, WWE wouldn't do anything with him, because WWE never does anything with Dolph Ziggler. So yeah, there's probably as much good here as there is bad, but if you did watch Ups and Downs for Raw this week, you know that I just absolutely love Goldberg. And because I love Goldberg, and because I do want to see Goldberg absolutely smash the hell out of Dolph Ziggler this Sunday, I was pleased with it. I know, it's annoying, I can feel your commenting fingers just wiggling with rage. That's just sometimes how life goes. Dolph also said that at SummerSlam it will be Goldberg's last ever match, which means one of two things. One, Ziggler wants to kill him, or two, he is going to injure him so badly that Bill Goldberg will never be able to do anything physical again. Little bit too much. We then had an exclusive interview with Roman Reigns. Exclusive. WWE, you don't need to call interviews with your employers exclusive. You can only really tout the fact you have something exclusive if you're working for, like, I don't know, Times Magazine, and you got an interview like Brad Pitt, but Brad Pitt has also said, I'm not going to talk to anybody else, then it's exclusive. When you sit down, one of your staff, have a chat with them, don't think it's exclusive. However, we were talking about the Roman Reigns attempted murder case here, which I enjoy, as you know, so giving it up Let's get investigating. After almost being run down on Raw by an unmanned vehicle, Roman Reigns told Kyla Braxton that he had turned down the invitation from WWE to give him personal security. This seems odd to me and now makes Roman Reigns a suspect in his own attempted murder investigation, because if you knew you could keep yourself safe, why wouldn't you? Anyway, he then went on to apologize to Samoa Joe because Roman Reigns now doesn't think that Samoa Joe was involved. And you could also see this as another red herring and trying to take your mind off the scent. The investigation continues, especially because Roman said he's gonna sort this out later on. We did not need Ember Moon versus Natalya though. We just didn't. Down. The problem is that it made two women's matches at SummerSlam feel like afterthoughts, because they just came out there, they had a little bit of a scrap, and eventually they were getting double counted out because Natty Neidhart once again locked in the sharpshooter and she wouldn't let it go. Then Bayley came out, she tried to help Ember Moon. Ember Moon was a bit like, no, I don't want your help, you're my opponent. And that was that. It was like a big afterthought, and like WWE didn't have any big plans, but thought we've got to put them on the show in some sense. We've got a SmackDown Women's Championship match to promote. And that's all they had. It just felt really, really weak. I mean, if this had been taken off of the show, nothing would have changed. Literally nothing, other than the fact that you wouldn't have seen it. I did enjoy the Kevin Owens show though, even if WWE continues to run talk shows into the ground. Give it up. Thankfully, Owens took the microphone away from Greg Hamilton, so we didn't have to go through all that best in the world stuff, which I am absolutely sick of, and not in the way that I meant to be sick of. And Kevin Owens rightfully brought up the question, wait a minute, Shane, if I have to quit the WWE, if I do lose on Sunday, why don't we make this a career versus career match so that if you lose, you also have to walk away from the WWE? Shane was never going to agree to this because of course he is a McMahon and basically owns the whole thing anyway. And even though Owens did press and press and press, he wouldn't budge, and then just reminded us of all the ways that he can beat Kev at SummerSlam. Like pinfall, submission, count out, disqualification. Like reading the rule book. Elias soon attacked Kevin Owens from behind, and even though he was able to reverse that and hit a stunner onto the announce table, it was the opening Shane McMahon needed to strike. And he trapped Kevin Owens under said table, and when he was stuck in there, he put a chair in front of his face, and he just like kicked it right into Kevin Owens' nose. I mean, it looked quite bad. It looked like it hurt a lot. Now, of course, we all hope that Shane McMahon does lose on Sunday. Now, I haven't done this for a while, but I don't forget, Shane, I don't forget. If you don't do what is best for business, finally, this will be unleashed. Hadouken. On a final note, when Shane was beating down Owens at the end here, one of the refs that had come out to try and calm this down said, "Stop, Shane, that's enough," which implies that if he had got there earlier and he had been witness to this attack, he may have gone, well, Kevin Owens could probably take a little bit more. Good work, referee. Aleister Black then beat Sami Zayn. What world are we living in? Down. Now, I love both of these guys, and let's go back to the fingers. One, this match had already been announced for SummerSlam, so that kind of shows how much WWE thinks about these two competitors when we went, meh, just throw it onto SmackDown instead. And two, bring it down. Here it comes. If you watch Ups and Downs before, you know what it is. It's the Sami Tally, and the Sami Tally represents the fact that every time Sami Zayn is in a match, he never wins, he always loses, and usually loses really, really quickly. And just to catch you up, again, if you don't know, so far, I have never been wrong. Another mark on the Sami Tally. We'll probably be back here again soon, because of course he got black masked in the face, and he was the loser. 1, 2, 3. And this wasn't bad either, don't get me wrong. I think these two are incredible wrestlers, and they put on a great show here. Why the hell can't at least one of them get on the second biggest pay-per-view of the year? I mean, maybe WWE will pull something out of nowhere. I just worry, man. I worry. What is even Sami's role at the moment too? Let's bring that up. Mention it in the comments, because to me, he's just hanging out, playing Nintendo. Doesn't even get a real feud. Shelton Benjamin was then back, and I would have been far more excited about this if, he hadn't just vanished from TV last week, which he did, but also the question he got asked now was, do you ever see yourself fighting for the 24/7 championship? And as Benjamin did his whole, look around the room, I'm so confused, I don't even know if I've been born skit, he went, well, and he walked off. So all of that just to put Shelton Benjamin in the 24/7 title picture. And I like the 24/7 title, but my word, does that feel like a giant waste of time. SmackDown. We did get a Firefly Fun House though, and that is always good. It started with Huskus the pig, or whatever that thing is called, overindulging in chocolate because he had insecurity issues, and that's what Bray Wyatt tied in to his match with Finn Balor, because Finn Balor walks around saying that he's not afraid of anything, but in Bray Wyatt's mind, that is just his insecurities creating a barrier. Deep down, maybe he's actually terrified of anything, and if he's not, he should be terrified of the Fiend, because the Fiend is coming to get him at SummerSlam. You better let him in. I love these skits to build matches. I absolutely love them. They feel different. It's far superior to just going out there and cutting a promo, because we've seen that for the last 52 years. Thank the world for Bray Wyatt. I think I then got transported to an alternate dimension because Chad Gable was backstage, like doing some stretches and doing some weightlifting with some bands, where Elias turned up and basically said, "I don't like you because you're small." When he said to Chad Gable he should do something about it, Gable just went, acting like a child, and Elias just walked off. Now, I am excited. I hope maybe we do get a Chad Gable versus Elias program, because Gable should be on SmackDown, but still, I had to watch it twice because I'm like, did I see that? Or am I hallucinating? Next up was the Kofi Kingston video to counteract the Randy Orton one that we got last week, and just like that one, it was absolutely brilliant and did a fantastic job in building up their WWE title match at SummerSlam. Give it a flip it up. Same kind of vibe here, as WWE made it feel like an actual sporting contest, but with a storyline. Kofi Kingston recounted everything that happened in 2009, and that while Randy Orton uses his power to keep people down, Kofi Kingston is going to use his influence to pull people up. So basically, they were talking about ups and downs. Kofi, Randy, I love you too. Thanks for watching. It's just like a symbiotic relationship. I don't know why either, but then we did get the New Day versus Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan. I mean, it was fine. It was good. I had a good time. I enjoyed myself. We're going to give it up. I'm also going to give a salute to Eric Rowan because he was wearing a Blind Guardian t-shirt, and I like Blind Guardian. They're a band. Okay, don't really know what else to tell you outside of the finish. Eventually, the recyclable one did get so pissed off that he just threw the steel stairs into Xavier Woods' face. And that was that. They got DQ'd. Rightfully so. They should have done. Onwards we trot. It was a really good contest before this, with near falls and crazy maneuvers, and Rowan and Bryan were able to keep their momentum up because they gave Big E and Xavier Woods a running knee and an iron claw chokeslam to say, hey, don't mess with us. We're still a couple of badasses. But then they waited in the ring, and why did they do this? Right, before we do get there, I'm just going to throw a random down in here, because the commentators once again brought up that Daniel Bryan had never made his big announcement, and I tell you, that really does suck. And until we get to the point where that is sewn up or tied up in a nice little package, I'm going to make sure I give it at least one down every single week. You just played with my emotions, WWE. I was so excited about that, and I'm still hurt. So now I'm acting like a lover scorned. Hence that down. Anyway, back on track. The reason they stayed in the ring is because we are investigating again. Give it up. We snapped to the back, and from here, Roman Reigns was storming around yelling at Buddy Murphy because he had seen the footage. He said that a lot. I have seen the footage. And in said footage, he did see Buddy Murphy. Of course, the footage I'm referring to was the scaffolding falling on the big dog from last week's episode of SmackDown. But after Buddy Murphy had proven to be a most unwilling witness, Roman Reigns beat the crap out of him, which in any other walk of life would have also got Roman Reigns arrested. I mean, it was Buddy Murphy's fault. Buddy Murphy had said, even if I did know, mate, I wouldn't tell you. But you know, after he had his ass kicked, he did tell Roman Reigns, and he said the person driving the forklift from 7 days ago was Eric Rowan. Well, no, he actually didn't say that. He just said Eric Rowan's name, and now we're supposed to put the rest together. When Roman Reigns pressed on him and said, did you also see Daniel Bryan? Buddy Murphy said, I did not. I just saw Rowan. Then we cut back to the ring where, of course, Daniel Bryan and Rowan still were, and while Rowan just stood there like this, Daniel Bryan looked a mixture of confused, or maybe that he was about to be caught. Has the most environmentally friendly WWE champion in history finally lost his mind entirely? We shall see. We shall see soon. Also, WWE, on this note, more of this is fun. And that was that. SmackDown is in the books, and no, it wasn't the greatest show that I'd ever seen, but I thought, given that we do have a massive pay-per-view on Sunday, between that and Raw, WWE did a good job. Some people were tweeting me earlier saying SmackDown sucked, and then I watched it and I was like, no, it doesn't. It was fine. It was good. It did everything that it had to do. So spin the arrow, give it an up. I think WWE, from the last pay-per-view to this pay-per-view, has more or less kept up their end of the bargain. Sometimes, that's all I can ask. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you thought about last night's episode of SmackDown. Like, share, and subscribe. Head on to WhatCulture.com. Read yourself some SummerSlam-related articles. Follow WhatCulture on Twitter at WhatCulture WWE. And watch more videos here on WhatCulture Wrestling. My name is Simon from WhatCulture. Thank you very much for watching Ups and Downs. And you better believe it that this weekend we will up those downs for NXT TakeOver. And then we'll be back Monday to ups those downs for SummerSlam. I'll see you then.